Hi ladies, I was just going to give you an update. I lost one of my videos, so I'm having to kind of create this video after the fact, so I'm sorry about that. Anyways, to recap, I used a menstrual cup this cycle. I used the Lena, I've heard it either way, the cup. It was about $22 on Amazon, came the next day, no problems with it. So at the time that I showed you the first video, I actually had it in, so I couldn't show you. So this is the cup. Some ladies say it looks big. I'm sorry. If you're having sex with your husband, it's not bigger than your husband, I promise. It's pretty soft. So when you go to insert it, they have different folds that you can do. I do the C fold, which ends up being like this. It's about the size of a super tampon. And so what you do is you have to kind of wiggle it in, and you just keep pushing and you keep pushing, and then when it gets up, it seals. So it sits in you like this. If it's sealed properly, you won't have any leakage. However, I did find everybody's cervix is different. If you work out and you exercise and you move and you run and you do a whole bunch of crazy stuff and you're not just sitting down all day, you may need a firmer one. And I figured that out for myself because I move around a lot and this is extremely soft. So on my light days when I wasn't going very heavy, it caught everything, didn't spot, nothing at all. So I didn't have any issues with it on my light days. On my two heavy days that I usually had, I wore a thin panty liner, and I had at the end of the day probably 3 to 4 good size spots. So like if you were spotting, it was like that. I want to get to the point though where this is all I need. I don't need a pad, even though it was thin. So I've decided that probably for my next cycle, I'm still going to keep this one for like my light days, but I'm going to give a different cup a try. There's the Diva cup was the next one, and then there was also another one. I'll have to type in the name on the blog for you, but anyway, it gave you the dimensions of it and how soft or hard it was, or firm. And so I'm going to go with the firmer cup and try that, and I'm actually going to go, surprisingly, with one that's a little bit more in diameter, just because I didn't feel like I was getting that perfect seal in my cervix to where there was nothing. At night I didn't have many problems. There's troubleshooting tips on like when you insert it, you know, everybody's cervix kind of is a different way, so to tilt it, you can tilt it forwards, backwards, push it up some. I also found out that I have a longer cervix than what I expected, so that meant that when this was inserted, it went pretty high up to where whenever I was trying to find this tab, it took me a minute to find it, and I had to kind of bear down as if I was pushing out a baby or something. And so I'm going to go with a longer one so it won't be as hard for me to find the tab. Another reason why I didn't want to invest in an expensive one, because I didn't know a lot about my own anatomy. You kind of have an idea, but you just really don't know until you try it. So that's why I would try a cheap one. They'll give you the dimensions and the firmness of it. Just give one a shot. I mean, you can find them on Amazon for 15 bucks. Some are even 12. And I don't feel like that's a bad trial run for you to kind of learn. Like I said, I am going to be keeping this because I do have light days, and so it worked well on my light days. But on my heavy days, whenever I was really moving around or exercising, I didn't get that seal that I wanted. Other thing is, how many times did I have to empty it? Okay, so on my light days, I could literally put this in at 6 o'clock in the morning and wouldn't have to change it until 6 o'clock in the evening right before bed. I would just change it in the shower. And on my light days, I was only filling it up to about that line. That's how my light days were. So on my heavy days, I had to change it, put it on in the morning about 6:30, changed it at 12:30. From 12:30, I changed it again right before bed. I may have had to change it you know, 6:30-ish, and then I just change it again just out of habit before bed while I was in the shower. And on my heavy days, so from 6:30 to 12:30, I was filling it up to about right here. Those are my heavy days. Not everybody's going to bleed the same amount, etc. So it's just trial and error. You could empty it when it's lower. I'm just looking for things that I'm not having to, like a tampon, I'm having to put in and change it every 2 to 3 hours, which is extremely annoying to me. And even then, I'm still bleeding through the tampon. So this cup was a lifesaver. Did I feel it? Absolutely not. I didn't notice it was in me. The only reason why I really paid attention was because I was trying to kind of review it and make sure that I remembered. But as far as feeling it, I didn't. Now, if you put it in wrong, or the cup doesn't completely open when you have it in, you may feel that, because that's not correct. You want it to be completely open, and that you shouldn't feel. I didn't feel the weight of it as the cup filled up throughout the day. There was no heaviness that you sometimes get, like when you have a tampon and you feel like it's kind of like sliding out and it's just extremely soggy. Didn't have any of those issues. Peeing and pooping. Some women have a hard time because it may put a little bit of pressure on your bladder, and I may experience that with a more firm cup. I'm not really sure, but for this one, I was able to do both without having to remove it. Some ladies say that they can't because it feels uncomfortable or it feels like they're going to push it out. I didn't have a problem with either one. Tips. So someone was asking me, is it just, it's gross? I mean, you're on your period and you're having to pull this thing out, and what if you drop it? Okay, so day one, be honest, I did drop it, but I was really light, and so nothing came out of the cup. But I learned that as you pull it out, when you get it down, hang on, Adelaide. You can just stay in the living room. Okay? Sorry, my kids. Okay, so when you pull it out, when you're getting it out, and this is out of your body and it's not like in, you're not trying to find it, grab a piece of toilet paper, grab a baby wipe, and just wrap it around the bottom and pull it. And that'll give you a little more stability and it's not on your fingers. But because this cup is catching all the blood, you don't have, I mean, unless it's in improperly and not correct and you have blood all around it, that may be gross. But if it's catching all the blood, there's not going to be anything really on the outside, just your natural lubrication. So that's all that you're grabbing. Then you go empty it out, you clean it off, dry it off. I wouldn't suggest putting it in there wet. It's not really easy. Some women say they have a hard time getting it in, and I saw one video where they put lube on it, on the outside rim to try and insert it, and she said it was just a mess and really hard. I never had any issues inserting it or taking it out just as it is. So like I said, toilet paper or a baby wipe will save you from spilling it. It'll give you a little more grip to pull it out. I think that's all the questions, though, that I've had other women ask me so far that knew that I was testing this out. Someone asked me if I would go back to tampons. I will never go back to tampons. I will be using my cup. And honestly, if I didn't get another cup that was a little bit bigger or firmer, I would still be happy with this cup because I was using the thinnest panty liner possible and still just getting 3 to 4 drops on my heavy days. On my light days, I wasn't getting anything. So to me, I'm okay with that. But like I said, I am trying to find a next cup that's going to be a little more right for my body, because I am active and I do exercise and I run and play with my kids and I'm up and down on the ground, and so I want something that's going to be a little bit more firmer. I think that's really going to help me out. So yeah, I think that's it. Overall, a great experience. I don't have any negatives to say about these things. I feel cleaner, I guess, because I'm not inserting like cotton and random chemicals in my body. Like, this is just a smooth medical grade silicone. Yeah, so the best experimental trial thing that I've tried in a really long time. But like I said, this is the cup. Amazon, $22, next day shipping. Good place to start. I will try and add in a link that has, it's like a big spreadsheet of all these different kinds, and it'll tell you the length of them, the diameter, the firmness. I think there's a couple other things that they go over on the spreadsheet, but it was a good reference place. So this was kind of like my starting, and so I know based on that sheet I need to go with something firmer and something a little bit larger in diameter. I feel I've had 2 kids, they were very long labors, so I'm sure I'm kind of stretched out. So yeah, pick one. It's your starting point. Don't invest a lot of money until you figure it out. If you're going to your OBGYN, maybe ask her, do I have a long cervix? Or ask her their opinion of what they feel about menstrual cups. I don't really foresee a doctor or somebody in the medical profession having anything negative to say about this, because to me it's cleaner, it's less chemicals, I don't know. Will it get lost? Someone asked me, will it get lost? No, it won't get lost, and I'm sorry, but it's not going to just keep traveling up into your body. It's going to hit a wall, and so you just need to bear down and push it out like you're having a kid if you can't reach it. It's not that big of a deal. Don't freak out. Stay calm. It's not lost, I promise. Anyway, so yeah, overall, great review. I give it 2 thumbs up. I will be continuing it. Like I said, I'm going to be ordering another one, or finding another one. I think I'm going to have to order the next one because I can't find it at the stores. And so my next period, I will be giving that one a shot, and I may do a quick little video to see, you know, an update saying, hey, the diameter worked, it fixed it, or the firmness. I am curious though to see if with the firmness, if I am going to feel it then. So I don't know. Anyways, I'll get back with you on that one. So hope you ladies have a great day. Try it out. It's not going to hurt.